Welcome, fellow Uplanders, to episode 202.
Once again, live from the Upland Cafe, Upland will finally have a token on your favorite exchange.
But it's not the one that you think or have been hoping for all this time. We'll have Upland co-founder Dirk Lueth and Chief of Staff Danny Brown-Wolf to shine more light on Sparklet.
Also, special guest Mass Chef speeds by for Upland Racing League update.
Watch now. Who knows what other shenanigans you'll find here on this show. And let's roll.
The Upland Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and ThankMeLater. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the Metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Xperts, baby, UPX.
Awesome. Welcome to episode 202. Good to see you again there. ThankMeLater. How's your week been?
Yeah, it took me. I was like, "Week? How's it been?" Yeah, it's Thursday, so we're at the end of the week. Yeah, it's been a weird week, but yeah, no, good, I guess.
I did my August update last night, and
Yeah.
Somebody's got to turn us on in the Upland Cafe.
Well, I got an error. It says we're having trouble with the streaming destination.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I'll double check if I got the right keys. The keys shouldn't change. It should be the same. So maybe someone's got to turn it on there on the Upland side. So hopefully we'll be live from the cafe soon. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see. We'll keep that posted.
Right.
But I totally lost my oh yeah, I was doing my update, and she's like, "Oh, it's so nice to see you on a Tuesday night." I'm like, "It's Wednesday, Cheese." But to be fair, Cheese was up all Tuesday night. There you go. Cheese was up all Tuesday night working on the artwork for Uplandia.
Oh, rock on. Nice.
So I give her that credit. So I do give her that credit. And I don't know if you were paying attention this week, but Upland had some funny math going on.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't gonna call him out like you are, but sure.
I will.
I know you are. I just go. Maybe it was the Mandela effect. I don't know.
I mean, we were on the show, and I took the shot on the left Thursday, September 14th. That was from our show. That was live. There were 12 days, 13 hours, and 20 minutes. And
math.
Tuesday, I went in, and it should have been right around, 17 hours or so. And actually, days were added to it. And
Didn't they claim negligence? They said, or they claimed ignorance. They just we don't know.
Yeah,
nothing happened.
It's different for each one, but I mean, hey, if you had to move it just say you had to move it, just give it that transparency.
Maybe it just delayed. Maybe there was a glitch. Maybe you missed some days, bro.
Oh, so it's like you're going down for New Year's. 5, 4, 3, 5 minutes and 22 seconds. 5 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the quantum experience. You're welcome. The future is now. Time travel brought to you by Upland.
No. Just, when things like this happen, we understand things like this are going to happen. Just be transparent about it. Say, hey, there's a technical difficulty or whatever. We had to adjust the drop or whatever. You can't have a timer and then change it and pretend nothing happened. Like,
because Too Stupid's going to call you out on it. I wouldn't have noticed at all, ever. It would have. Well, you know what? I take that back, because if I was, when it was gotten closer, I would have been like, yeah, where is it? So that's
why I looked, because it was closer. It was like
you were expecting it to be 17 hours,
right?
So you were checking in on it. So
yeah,
that's fair. Let us know in the comments. Did anybody else catch the time difference?
A lot of people actually did, and a lot of people actually did. So
yeah, no, I'm curious in the comment, how much time's left now?
2 days, and it's still running for an October 1st release.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, they did do it a week ago, and I was seeing if they corrected it or if there was any announcement. I was giving them time to make an announcement or, see what went along with that. Hey, Jose, are we not streaming? Because it's still showing that we have an error for the Upland Cafe. So not really sure there. I'll also message X1 too to be like, hey, X1, look at that.
Oh,
okay. It looks like you're live. I'll restream your stream from my side. Okay. All right. X1's got us hooked up. So we should be, he'll be helping us out.
All right.
All right. I guess Dirk's ran into some issues, but Danny will definitely start walking us through this. And whenever Dirk joins us, that will be good. So, and this is the first time we've had Danny on the show.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, absolutely excited. So, with no further ado, big announcement on Sparklet. I've been trying not to call it Sparkle all day long. I'm like, yeah, Sparklet. I want to do Sparklet. Got it. But yes, we'll bring on Upland Chief of Staff, Danny Brown Wolf. Hey, Danny, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, guys, I'm excited. I love the theme song.
Thanks. Mars, Utah.
Shout out to Mars, Utah.
Very nice.
I'm trying to fix the...
What are you doing?
I'm trying to fix our stream at the same time.
Oh, okay. How's it going, Danny?
I'm okay. East Coast, it's a bit late, but hopefully I still got my wits about.
So we're saying that correctly. Sparklet.
Yes.
Sparklet.
There was a lot of discussion about the name. Trust me.
What were some potential like future Mandela effect, alternate universe opportunities?
Oh, what wasn't? I mean, we also went crazy with different names, not from the Spark root family.
Yeah.
But then eventually, because it is a denomination of Spark, then we didn't want it to be too confusing for people to think it's like two different assets that have two different functions. So that's where we decided to keep it in the Spark family. But yeah, there were a lot of very interesting suggestions, and also, of course, you need to look at the tickers of like what's already out there, because they're like millions of tokens with like different names, and you don't want to step over someone else's. Yeah.
You mean like UPX? Or is that too soon? Too soon. Sorry, fam, I had to.
Many things to consider, yes, but Sparklet seemed like the good option, and it sends the right message for people to intuitively understand its relationship to Spark. So that's why it was chosen.
And then are you back too stupid, or do you want me?
Yeah. X1's hooked us up, but I know you had questions because you did your homework today, so I am proud of that.
Don't you patronize me? Oh yes, you could. No, so just like it's 1 to 1,000, right? 1 spark to 1,000 Sparklet. What was it? What was kind of like the thought behind that? Why not 100? Why not 10,000?
Yeah, or 1 to 1. I mean,
sure.
It is like it's the same token, only mirrored on different chains. Mm-hmm. So the thought of it was what's digestible for Ethereum natives. So if you look at other similar assets, it just psychologically, it looks scary when an asset costs $500. And we're still not at the Bitcoin stage where you can have Satoshis kind of grow organically as a denomination for Spark. So what we did was we looked at comparable crypto assets, sand, mana, etc., and saw, okay, what is the range that makes sense for a Spark denomination to be, and 1,000 seemed to make sense. Also, we don't. There's a lot of infrastructure work that needs to be done in Upland to update the Spark contract, but the Spark in Upland would still need to be 0.01, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The current denomination. So that means that bringing in Sparklet into Upland in form of Spark has to be a minimum of 10 Sparklet. Now, telling a non-Uplander, okay, you need to bring in a minimum of 100 Sparklet in order to actually use its utility also doesn't make sense. So I think the 1 to 1,000th was a very thought out decision that we looked at. A lot of different scenarios and uses of what I call in product, I don't know if you guys know this, jobs to be done, where you basically like walk through the user experience of what are the different scenarios and what are the actual steps and what will they think about each step. And that was what made the most sense out of all these scenarios.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah, no, that was really insightful. I appreciate that.
And welcome, Dirk. Thank you so much for taking time to join us.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Yes. And X1 says we are now live in the cafe. So
okay, hi awesome. Everyone in the cafe. How's the espresso?
we have not been in there yet, but we are streaming live in there. So we do appreciate the ability to have our show broadcast 2 weeks in a row in the Upland Cafe. That's such an honor. And it's talking with your team. Sounds like we want to make this a recurring event. So we're all on board on that. So love that and love helping Upland move, to the next style or next cool thing in Upland, I guess.
So what's the next cool thing in Upland for you?
Just doing the cafe and being able to stream the show live. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. Super cool.
Yeah, appreciate that. Now with, man, there's so many questions to this, and I did like Danny that you ask Edan the questions when you have the economic master over there and Dirk about the structuring of everything in the video you guys put out today. I think the way that was rolled out with the video itself, the white paper and the announcement, it put a lot of information out there and addressed a lot of the common questions that people will have. And one of the questions, of course, that pops up right now is how soon until the vote? Do we have a timeline for that?
Yeah, I think didn't we announce the vote timing yet?
Ooh, did I miss that? I might have awkward.
Wait, let's pretend we did miss it, because then if they didn't announce it, maybe we could get a sneaky peek.
Let's make sure the email went out, but yes, there's a date.
Okay.
There's a date, and maybe just give me the.
You heard it here first. There is a date.
Dates here. 1 second.
So the Upland team will close the post on Friday, October 6th before the community vote, community town hall. It will happen Monday, October 9th through Wednesday, October 11th.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go. Right.
There it is.
I got it for you. I didn't scroll. Look, I'm too stupid to win. So, I get distracted. I'm like, okay, this is nice, but give me the details of the white paper. And I jumped to that. So I'm like, I was reading and it was like white paper. So, okay.
It was also funny this morning when we saw, because we all watched the first reactions, and we saw people reacting within 2 minutes. After we published it, I don't think they've really read the white paper or they watched the video. I don't get their react already.
Oh, that's funny. Like just immediate, just like, this is the worst thing ever. Like you didn't read anything. You read 0 things.
Yeah.
Burning it all down.
The immediate reaction was, and I guess that's only, they only had time to read the title, right? So it's like, okay, Ethereum. They're like, Ethereum sucks. Ethereum gas fees suck.
And that was, it sounds like the Ethereum gas fees are going to be covered by UpX. Is that correct?
So it's important to first say that when you utilize Spark within Upland, nothing changes in terms of the user experience. You don't have to pay gas. It still runs on EOS and on the EOS smart contract. The only time you need gas is when you use the bridge. So when you take Spark and convert it to Sparklet in order to take it out to Ethereum, that's when you can cover the gas with UpX. When you bring it back in, that's already on the Ethereum side, and that would have to be with Ethereum gas. And of course, we're working now, first we're working on the smart contracts of the actual bridge and the Sparklet smart contracts. And the next phase would also be implementation of a layer 2 that would also reduce those gas fees on Ethereum.
Okay.
Very cool.
Very cool. And that makes sense. And that is easy to understand. And it was nice how the team broke down to everybody how there's going to be the Upland Treasury, the incentive rewards, and the ecosystem and grants. And then, you know, on top of that, there's the advisory supporters, existing Upland owners. And that's interesting to know that only 5.7% of Spark is owned by Upland users right now. And then you have your 5% liquidity for the exchange. Like the transparency, it makes a lot of sense. Ethereum gas fees at $15 right now. I just checked right before the show. It was at $8. It might have bumped, or you might have checked it earlier. B Ryan was asking about that, but it just depends on what you want to do with your Spark. And I do like that. So how long was the team waiting for the U.S. policy to have some kind of definition that you're like, all right, let's execute, let's launch now, let's go now?
Well, waiting is probably, I don't know whether the right word. Of course, we've been watching everything that's happening in the regulatory space in the U.S. all the time, right? We also were comparing it and, with, what people are doing abroad also, right? We see that other projects, they're launching, wherever, Cayman Islands, Malta or something. And then they say we're never selling to US investors or whatever, right? So this is what's happening outside, but then you have, of course, the US companies. And as you said, as we always say, for us, it's so important to be regulatory compliant, just to take a step back, right? When we launched the fiat or the NFT to fiat program, right? Was in the US, and you need to have a money transmitter license for that if we want to do such a thing, right? So, and that's because otherwise we couldn't have launched it, right? I mean, you could technically can always launch these kind of things, right? But obviously we want to also make sure that, when people know that we have actually developed everything on a very solid regulatory framework. And when it comes now to this new development, so you don't know how, that actually everything's based, it's called on the Ripple ruling. It was back in July, what was mentioned, and everyone, maybe some of the listeners here have heard about it. But at that time, we didn't know how the judge would rule it, right? That was just totally unknown to, I think, everyone in the industry. It came actually also, to my mind, a little bit as a surprise, right? And, and I'm not a lawyer, and who's interested in finding out, who should probably Google, everything around that particular case. But at the end of the day, we saw that. We say, okay, look, I mean, what we've built so far is, everything, in accordance, with U.S. law, because we obviously a U.S. company, right? And now this ruling is out there, and I think there's really this opportunity for us. We can do that. And in general, we are also very special because we are not. When you compare this to maybe lots of other projects, a lot of projects launch with no product or no platform. They say, oh, we're going to build that and this and that, and they have a lot of investors who are buying the tokens and so on, right? That's what others have done. In our case, it's so different, right? Because we have an established platform. We had established Spark now since roughly 2 years, right? And so for us, it's actually completely, we have a utility, we have a use case, it's working, right? So it's a completely different starting point, right? And it's going to be also very interesting. I'm personally super curious how it turns out, right? Once we launch and it becomes more public and, the press right now, it's just our community in quotation marks, right? Maybe leaks out a little bit further, but we haven't done any big press release at this point. Yeah. But what is interesting is now to see, is Upland going to be some kind of an example how you should do things, right? And going forward, right? So, and how it's going to be teaching at universities and so on. So we have to see what comes up, right? But we did not plan exactly for that because, to your question, too stupid, because we did not know how the courts are deciding.
Yeah, and that's the other exciting part. There is there's no initial coin offering. You buy the Spark in Upland. It's not that there's going to be an offering on the exchanges where you can buy it on the exchanges, then bring it into Upland. You have to buy it in Upland and go to the exchange itself. That
even more than that. Usually, what happens in the industry is that the tokens are usually offered even before they're launched as a SAFT or as a pre-sale to investors, usually to VCs or to different crypto investors. And usually they're offered at a discount. And then when they come on the exchanges, even if there isn't a public offering on exchanges, but it's basically, the treasury being sold to fund the project, then the investors on day one basically use the retail as their exit strategy at 3x what they paid in the pre-seed. That doesn't happen with Sparklet. It was never offered to investors. We never had a SAFT. We've only sold it in Upland as Spark. So this makes it as a very unique asset in the industry in general.
And Drifter was wondering, can or will these Sparklets introduce cross-platform compatibility for Spark, or is it going to be is that a future thing or just currently intended for Upland?
Well, for Spark or Spark, what do you say, Sparklet or Spark?
Sparklet. Sparklet.
For Sparklet, right? Yeah. So, I mean, Sparklet is going to be, let's say, traded on the exchanges, right? It's going to be outside, right? The way we envision is actually that our third-party developers, right, they can also use it, right? When they use also API platforms and so on, they can then use Spark, right, in order to stake it, however they build their application, right? And that's somehow, of course, cross-platform because obviously they have their own, let's say, environment, they have their own app, right? But they can still use Spark for certain ways. And then, the way it works right now with these third-party developers, that our users can, cross-platform from Upland into those third-party developer experiences.
Okay. Have you guys picked the exchanges yet, or is it still yet to be determined where Sparklet's going to be listed, or is that still not able to be publicly released?
No, nothing is, as we said, right? As we said also in the video, right, that we currently, first of all, first step was community, right? To get this white paper, approved by the community we said, hey, we're somehow in this together, right? And then we're going to start discussing, with some exchanges, there's centralized exchanges, of course, there's decentralized exchanges, but at this point we cannot disclose anything. And as we also said, there's also not 100% given that it's going to happen because, we have to see how the exchanges react, right?
And it's been a long time. I know ThankMeLater and myself early on when Upland was just starting early 2020, early 2021, it was, where can I list UpX on the exchange? What exchange can I buy UpX for? And it was just constant revolving. So it was it was in, and then I saw somebody use a comment. Finally, I can explain Upland to somebody now that the token's on the exchange. I'm like, what? There's so much more than just a token on the exchange.
I think there are two elements to that, because one of them is obviously the regulatory environment and having a window of opportunity that we did everything right, and now the window of opportunity allows for us to make that move and towards more progressive decentralization. And the second part is that we actually do believe that is the right way to build an economy. So when you have an economy that's decentralized completely from day one, but also completely liquid and at the mercy of the volatility of the general market from day one and how it affects it, then if the economy is not built enough yet, there aren't enough features and there aren't enough things to do. Like think of all the things we've built for the past 3 years, and if the token was out there when they still hadn't been utilized and built, then it could be detrimental to an economy. So the right way to build a game platform economy is also to start it with a kind of like a greenhouse sheltered environment. And then only when it's strong enough and there is utility, there is that community that's already there, then start having more options for liquidity on exchanges and outside the platform.
Yeah, Happy Jack says the whole idea, approved or not, is super cool and really like the direction. Now, and one of the other things that I did like was the vesting strategy that the team talked about today, and talked about based off of daily average wallet interactions. The more that you have, the quicker it vests. So it's just not a here we go and we're going after it. It was very thoughtful and well structured, in my opinion.
Yeah, the main objective here is to be aligned, right, with the growth of the platform. Not to say, hey, all of a sudden it's 100% already vested and then it can be dumped or whatever. No, we want to really build a stable economy, and that's why we have decided to do this kind of very innovative, sustainable vesting approach.
Yeah. And then as the price of Sparklet fluctuates on the exchange, it's talked about that Upland will, if it becomes too expensive, Upland will make things more affordable in-game, being buildings, map assets, so legit, so on and so forth. Now, if the value of the Sparklet drops below a certain level, do you where's the balance? Is there here's a set line where the minimum spark value is for things, or will it decrease lower or higher? So I guess if the Sparklet value goes lower, how much higher will the required spark go in game? Because that plays into a new variant. I know you're laughing. So my concern, I'll rephrase it. All right. You see, I can't even beat myself. I can't even beat myself. So as it said, that if the spark price gets the Sparklet price gets too high, Upland will adjust in-game spark prices. Now, if it gets too low, will it push it the other way?
So we have the advantage of about 2 years of data that many other platforms that use crypto do not have, because they just basically launch on day one with the token, and then they have to do simulations. That's all, guesstimations. We have actual data. Our goal is and always will be to make sure that creators, entrepreneurs, builders within Upland are able to build, are able to utilize their spark. So any adjustments up or down in terms of what we can control, which are the spark hours or the spark spending, once we have UGC legits that can be built with the spending of spark, then yes, those will be adjusted accordingly. And once we have more set formulas, then we'll share them.
Okay. And then you currently have the Spark exchange, which is UpX to Spark. Do you see that those prices mirroring the Sparklet on the exchange, or you see them as two different exchanges completely without any mirroring going on?
Well, there will be some interdependency. Hopefully, this is an English word, right? So, but how that exactly going to pan out, we have to see. But at the end of the day, we always say Upland is well, I mentioned it also multiple times in the video today, right? Upland's is on the mission to build the largest digital open economy, right? And that's what an economy does. There's supply and demand, and prices will eventually, go up and down there as well in a certain way. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Yeah.
It's also important to mention that specifically the Spark Exchange is not an Upland application. It's a third-party application that is managed according to their algorithms and their internal math based on supply and demand. So we don't control it.
Oh, so people are already excited that Spark's going to be a tradable token. Now, does the team see that STEM also becoming a tradable token in the future?
Well, obviously we have UpX, we have STEM, all these currencies, right? So right now we're just focusing on Spark. That's what we do at the moment. Yeah.
So Danny, what are you most excited about from this announcement?
Ooh. I'm a Web3 person. I'm like a hardcore crypto person. So I'm excited that for the more access to the general crypto community, like we kind of have this uphill battle on within the industry for visibility because we don't have an externally traded token. So that means, a lot of the times in terms of the size of our community, the economic activity that happens in it, the daily active users, we are by far the largest ecosystem in Web3, metaverse in Web3. And sometimes we're looked aside because we aren't on those charts. So I am excited for more visibility for Upland, and therefore a lot more creators and builders and Web3 people to now see this as an opportunity to come in and become part of this ecosystem and see it grow organically through it. So the growth opportunity given that visibility is very exciting to me. I enjoyed the process, to be honest. Us, like Dirk, Dan, and me, and the leadership team sitting together, like thinking about the different economic scenarios, about the different things we want to build, and allowing also what are the foundations that we can build with this decision that will also contribute in the future for more progressive decentralization of Upland, more power to the community, more governance power over specific pools, etc. So it's a very exciting move.
Absolutely. And Dirk, what's your biggest excitement around this announcement?
I don't want to build on, basically everything what Danny said as well, right? But I want to build a little bit on top of that is, so right now, we've been growing quite strongly, right? And, when especially Metaverse, everything was hyped. Right now, as you all know, in this public data, right, everything has been more or less stable, which is still a very big success because a lot of others went actually down. But I think now, since we're going to be more visible, right, I think we're going to tap into also new communities, right, and they're going to bring in new creative ideas, right, which we that's what I'm really looking forward to, and we create this kind of positive feedback loop, right? Because when you think about it, there's a new community coming in, and we have a few interesting partnerships also in the Web3 and crypto space we're currently talking to. We don't know if they're going to happen, but they have very, very interesting groups who come up with lots of fascinating stuff. But just imagine, right now these are coming in, then others are seeing that. Now they're seeing, hopefully the Sparklet going to be traded, or what is Sparklet, or they want to find out about Upland. Then they go in and they see maybe the map, and so much interesting stuff has been built. They said, "Oh, I want to try it out," right? And then they build something, and the next one comes in. They see what the others have built, and so on. You get into this loop of acceleration, right? And that's why I'm really keen to see how that pans out now in the next few months, especially in the current market environment. Everything goes up, maybe that's going to accelerate, but also in the current environment, it's going to see, can we manage to get really this new groups in, in the next, 12, 18 months or so.
And how soon I reread it, so I'm not going to ask a question that was already answered. So if the community approves this, and so far the comments that I'm reading, the community is pretty excited about this. If the community approves it, how long of a lead time is it from the approval from the community to actually implementation?
That we cannot say at this point, to be honest, right? Obviously, because we said because for us was community approval. Now we have some base we can work on, and now we're going to work with some external advisors, get some more input. We're going to work, we're going to talk to exchanges. Maybe there's some input which we're not aware, right? And once we have that all together, and we don't know how long it will take, right? There's no definite timeline. I mean, obviously, we want it to happen as soon as possible, but it's not that. It's actually top priority in Upland number one right now, clearly to get this rolling, right? To say it like this.
Okay, that's. You got something? Thank me later.
No, I've just decided that I'm on the vote no campaign.
Really? Why are you on the vote no campaign?
Yeah, I think I just decided I'm going to be on the vote no campaign.
I'm intrigued now.
I think keep Upland private. I don't want it to be on the public exchange. I say keep it private. Don't get greedy. Keep it private.
But it's just Spark. It's not UpX.
No.
It's just Spark. It's not UpX.
I'm voting no.
Tell us your thinking. Tell us why.
That's just honestly, when I saw all of the other metaverses just kind of crumple because they had investors come in, they bought the token, but they didn't care about the community. They didn't care about the game. They just bought because it was the hot ticket. And when the whole market went down and they just dumped it, they left a train wreck behind them. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want those fake investors. I want players and not fake investors. So it's going to be a no for me.
Okay. I have to say, I mean, and I've been, part of my work is also to study both the utility of these comparable tokens in a way and the internal economies of these. And I think most of the problem is that there is no actual utility for those tokens. So those tokens were launched without a utility, so it only left room for speculators. Whereas we're building the biggest digital economy that is open for creators. So if you think, the way I look at Spark, and maybe this is a bit of a longer term view, but foundationally and fundamentally, I look at it in a similar fashion to gas on Ethereum. So ETH and its usage. And maybe let me explain that analogy. So Ethereum was originally built because to solve a problem. And that problem was that until then, you only had Bitcoin, which was one app, one token, and one blockchain. So anytime you wanted to build a decentralized application, you had to build the entire infrastructure as well of miners, validators, the whole security protocol, and the incentive alignments using the token. What Ethereum came to solve is to say, okay, we're going to abstract the layer to have shared security in a shared ecosystem and abstract a lot of the infrastructure hurdle that dApp developers can focus on building decentralized applications. And the platform takes care of the security, miners, incentivization, and that the payment in a way to power this joint ecosystem is through Ethereum, the token. And that's it, and that's its utility. When I think about what Upland is building and its future and vision, it is solving a similar problem for different groups. So that abstraction layer that is required so much for adoption of Web3 in general is something that is hurdled by the fact that you have creators or creatives, right? But they don't want to mess with smart contracts and minting and then managing those wallets, etc. And Upland for UGC, as an example, gave them this opportunity. It's like, okay, we gamified it, so it's a no-code UGC NFT minting, right? But we gamified it like, okay, you have your meta venture, you have your manufacturing, but at the end of the day, we've abstracted that infrastructure layer. We provided a platform that allows for, you don't have to worry about payment solutions as you have Tilia. You'll be able to have more options with the crypto wallets as well. But like the UPX and USD, like the economy part is already taken care of by the platform. And of course, the additional incentivization that brings in this amazing and big community is already there for them. So you also don't each need to invent the wheel in terms of, okay, we need to build our own cafe. We need to build our own chat rooms. They utilize, whether it's a third-party developer, a creator, or someone who wants to organize a community, they utilize this system. And that system, that platform that we've built, is powered by Spark in a similar fashion. You can think about it as the gas or the energy that powers this abstraction layer. And that's why it's very different and not, we keep on saying comparable to other metaverse platforms, but it's not. It's the utility of Spark, both present and in the future, is much more tied into the entire ecosystem that we believe is the future of Web3 in general, and the ability to bring in all these value creators such as artists, developers, entrepreneurs, etc.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Oh, go ahead, Dirk.
No, I just want to add here something. When you think about how we're building the economy, the system, the economic system, right? Actually, we're doing exactly the contrary and attracting speculators to Upland, right? Because when you think about it, when we created the fixed exchange rate with UPX, right, we were able to shield, right, because people from the hardcore crypto market, right, obviously because it was there was this fixed exchange rate to the dollar, which shielded them from what happened in the crypto market extremely. Of course, there's also impact, but that was the internal impact within Upland. For it depends on supply and demand, and prices have changed. They will always change, right? That's what the market is always doing. So with Spark, as you know, and Sparklet, we have a similar shielding mechanism now in place, right? We say very much, right? Okay, if prices go up and down in the open world, because maybe there's speculation, I don't know, something, but it's a fact. It's an open market out there in quotation marks, right? But we can still change then the variables within Upland to make it continue making it stable. So, and then the most important thing is, when you are now someone who comes out from the inside, it's not like you go into Upland, you put your Spark somewhere and and then it grows magically or so. And no, we put restrictions on it, right? So when you want to, and that's what you have to have in mind, right? When you win some Spark in Upland, or get some rewards as Upland, or you buy it in Upland Spark, right? There's restrictions how and when you can get it out, right? And we also said in the white paper that we're also thinking of what kind of impact that has on the UPX earnings which you have when you're on a property and so on. So all these things make it more complicated for the pure people who want to speculate. We want actually the gamers who coming in, right, who learn about Upland, right, because they see it quoted on an exchange. And then they try it out, right? And I think we will have an automatic filter system that we get more of these. I mean, I cannot predict the future, but right. But I assume that the way we built the system, that will attract more of those people who also want to come in as gamers and want to build something meaningful in Upland, right? I think, and when you compare it, I think there will be more of those than those who don't care about it at all, right? I think your assumption, ThankMeLater, is not right at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope I'm wrong on that. With it opening up to Ethereum, does that mean that there's also going to be utility to exchange Spark inside of Upland through either the escrow system or through an direct exchange?
Not at this point. It's not planned, and we have to see the regulatory environment to allow it or not.
Now, couple things. As Dirk was saying, I did see that in the white paper that for Spark that was earned or purchased in Upland, the amount of Spark being reclaimed must be less than or equal to the amount of Spark that has been staked in Upland for a minimum of 720 Spark hours, which is per each one Spark. So basically, your one Spark needs to be staked for 30 days in the previous 3 months to be able to reclaim it. And that, that leads right to your comment of saying, you just can't come in, buy Spark and go flip it on the exchange. You have to do something with the Spark before you can get it out on the exchange, correct?
Yes, and this is the most important argument right now, right? So when you see the flow, right? Okay, someone goes on the exchange, you see, oh, Sparklet, what's that, right? Maybe I buy some, 100 Sparklet or so, and okay, that's associated to Upland. What is Upland, right? Then they go to the Apex podcast series and find out, oh, these are cool guys. They're talking about this. And I want to join this community. So they join the community. Of course, they have this, 1,000 Sparklets or so, right? Or whatever they have bought, right? They bring it into Upland as Spark. And they say, okay, I want to find out more. Now I start building. Now I maybe buy some Spark in the app, or I win them because I do some treasure hunt or do my daily sign-up bonus or so, right? But those Spark I cannot take out right away because I have to do something with them. So now they understand, okay, I have to now build with it, right? And then, but I think that is I think what really will drive, the engagement of also these new players coming in. And these are players, ThankMeLater, I think, and not necessarily just speculators. And again, for all the speculation, what happens outside, right? We have built in this shield, this smart shield, how I call it.
So wait, so if I go and I buy 1,000 Sparklet in Ethereum, I have to then use it in Upland before I can resell it? Is that what you're saying?
No.
No.
What I'm saying is I just try to explain the flow, right? The flow, you buy it because you found it, right, on an exchange. Now you go into Upland, you have your 1,000, but now you buy maybe some more, or you win some more Sparklet because you are in Upland now. And all those you have won now or bought, right, those have restrictions on them, right? And then
you have to use those for 30 days.
To explain, right? So you cannot really just go and buy, just leave again and then and speculate around it, right? That's not because
you can't do it you can't buy in Upland, but you can buy on the market and keep circulating there, right?
Correct.
And hold it there. And I think but the question is of what can you do with it? Can you how can you increase the value of it as opposed to just holding it? Then yes, you have to bring it to Upland to actually utilize it. And I've met a lot of players in Genesis Week this year and the year before that, even though I was only in the company for 3 weeks and didn't know what was going on. And a lot of them told me that they started out as speculators, right? They came in, they heard that they can flip land, like Metaverse land is the biggest thing, and they just wanted to flip, and they were speculators, and they came into Upland, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, wait a second, what's going on here? I can actually build a community. I can be part of a community. I can start building. I can actually have a strategy. This is not just a flipping thing. There's so much more to it. And a lot of those people have become our most valuable community members.
So overall, I'm a yes on this vote because of the restrictions of, you can trade it back and forth on the exchange all you want. You can speculate on the exchange. You're able to buy your Sparklet on the exchange, and you do the highs and lows and hits all your technical analysis. That's fine. But for the people that buy it in Upland and then try to put it out on the exchange, you have to contribute something to the community. 720 Spark hours per player can help you out. help a lot of players, help a lot of communities out. If it was UpX that was going to be a token, I would be way more concerned and very, cautious about the future of Upland if it was UpX. I like the stabilization of how that is, regardless of what you have some people talking about of, well, I buy this property and I sell it for this. Well, yeah, you sold it for 40% under mint. That was your choice. And of course, people are going to scoop that up because the long-term holders and believers are in Upland are like, I can get a property at 40% of original mint and get the 14.7% earnings along with the differential between there. So I'm a yes on it because I like the attraction that it can have. And as you said, Danny, people get into the game and they end up loving the community. You can be a speculator. You love the community. It's now on the exchange. It's not your main currency in the game. It's a utility function in the game. And with it, I do like, you were starting to say something, ThankMeLater.
Well, I mean, you say it's not the main currency of the game, but if it's your currency that's on your exchange, doesn't that by default make it your main currency now?
But you can't buy and sell property with that. You can't buy and sell map assets.
Doesn't necessarily matter. Like that might not necessarily be the new criteria anymore. Because if that means UpX is literally just an in-game token, that means Spark is now really the premium token of the game.
Well, to be honest, it was also always the objective, right? UpX is a medium of exchange, right? What you do with it, you have it, you buy it, and then you buy it with fiat currency, or can also buy it with cryptocurrency, and then use that to purchase, you purchase NFTs or digital assets in Upland. That's the sole function of UpX, right? So it's different, and Spark is more the resource and the energy and so on. So it's a different category. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the main concern when you compare it to other economies that have collapsed because of the external is that once the value went down, there are no mechanisms within the platform or within the economy to shield the economy. And we reserve the right and the ability to make sure that the Upland economy, UpX, your virtual properties, your virtual assets are shielded from it. So even if Spark goes down because there's another horrible 2027 bear market, right? Then how? Let's think for a second. How does it if the Spark price goes down on exchanges, does it affect your property value? Does it affect what assets would it affect? How does it affect the Upland economy? And when we thought this through, we said, okay, we have enough mechanisms within the Upland economy because the rest of it is, we do have ability and different restrictions to shield the economy from a collapse of the rest of the assets if the price of Spark goes down externally. So that's why we feel a lot more comfortable making this move, which we think overall, even though there is that risk, and that risk is very much alive in a volatile young industry such as Web3 and the crypto industry, we believe, first of all, that the good it can do for the economy and the platform and both its growth and the future of progressive decentralization, the good is worth the risks, and the risks can be mitigated through means that we already have.
Yeah, and maybe one more thing also to add. At the end of the day, it's all you guys, right? The community. If those new players are coming in, you have to catch them and saying, hey, this is how it works, right? You have to educate them and help us, to get into it and become the players, right? And become the gamers, right? ThankMeLater, what you're looking for, right? So there's this big opportunity. I think the opportunity that we get more people in, and we all know we want more people in, right? To have more, more revenue opportunities for the meta ventures and all that, right? We need more people, and that's a way to attract more. So I think bottom line is we gain way more through this initiative than we might lose because we have built enough, and we explained it now, protection mechanisms into the whole approach.
And of course, our job and your job is to help with suggestions on it. Is how do we increase the utility of Spark in Upland? So of course, the entire UGC economy, which yes, it is slow to mass adoption because there's a lot of infrastructure to be built on our end to make it widespread and available, to make sure the meta ventures are approved faster and run faster and all those things, and that takes time, and we're building it. But the different utilities, so, I mean, I already know what different third-party devs who want to connect to Upland or already built on Upland, like the things that they can do once they can produce legits, and how those assets can manifest in their games with like level ups and special powers and things like that. It's like, how cool is that going to be when it's all connected as a part of the economy, when they can produce those legits in an Upland factory using Spark, and then a user would need that specific legit in order to play the game or to get a shield in the game or level up in the game. So like it just powers up the entire economy, and it's our job to continue to build that utility.
And a lot of things that, all good points, a lot of things that are missing in this, that a lot of people are overlooking is talked about the utility of Sparks being expanded to, the meta venture people. It's going to be soon, you're able to get other people to stake on your factory to help you crank out your assets a lot more. There's so much in this that the approval of it is just not being on the exchange. It's also what you're doing to help create economies where you're having the map assets, the legits and all that. You're going to have the ability to stake your Spark just not only on other people's properties, but you can help manufacture and get returns off of that. So looking forward to that. And it's going to be very intriguing to see how the vote shakes out. We did have a great suggestion, in my opinion. I'm trying to find where it went because the comments are just scrolling all in. And, we do have our Spark bonus for logging in. You have your UpX bonus for referring people. And we do have the rewards and incentives aspect to where we have Spark Reserve for and Sparklet Reserve for. But what about bonuses for referrals and new referral users? Have we considered that?
I mean, there will be a catalog of things that specific. Of course, we will take a look into it, right? We've not made the decisions on the concrete topics. As you can see in the tokenomics, right, we've reserved this the reward section, right? And that could be a possibility, even though I don't want to promise at this point, right? We always see, what makes sense, in terms of always keeping the economy stable and not doing any shenanigans things which could risk any bad movements within the metaverse.
Yeah. So let's and have you two seen the or TML? Sorry. Do you have anything else before I transition?
No, I was going to say that there was definitely a lot of good arguments for the vote. So I'm going to change my answer to a tentative no, but I'm going to keep it a no, because if nothing else, I want to make sure that we keep healthy dialogue so that way we're still hearing both sides of the argument, because it's not 100% cut or dry to me.
That's good.
As a contrarian at heart, I feel you.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to fly into Texas and good German beer and convince you otherwise.
All right. You fly to Texas and give me a beer. Well, you got my vote.
All right.
You have to go on a tour.
I got to see this. Let me know, and I'll come on down if my schedule's available.
There you go.
Just to capture it. Now, Danny and Dirk, have you seen these map assets implemented in Upland?
Which one?
Which ones? Oh, okay.
Oh, I saw it on, I think it was on Twitter. Someone published it, and I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah, they are in manufacturing. Once I'm building up the inventory now, I need another 10 to 15 days to build an inventory, and they're going on sale. I think these are very super cool. Shout out to Toss Shack for helping me develop them. And yeah, they look great in the game.
Where are the shops, in which cities?
Right now, it's only in San Francisco, but I am working on expanding the shops to more cities to get it out so everybody doesn't have to go to San Francisco. And I do have a reserve of UpX so I can start buying those showrooms that I need and applying in those cities.
Awesome. Love that.
And then once we're able to have people... Once I'm able to rent Spark for people to help me produce these things, get more factories up and running, and it will be great. Crank these bad boys out.
Yep.
All right. So, Danny, biggest takeaway to our listeners before we let you guys get out of here tonight.
Oh, wow. There's a lot. So how do I choose one? I
got to pick one. There's a lot of great things going on. Just the biggest one to you, near and dear to your heart.
The biggest one to me is always and always will be governance. So the more participation from the community in this discussion and the vote, and starting to imagine with us and designing with us what is the governance system will be for the community to participate more and more in, for example, the Sparklet, the different Sparklet pools and how they're utilized, and starting to think about what are the possibilities of that to happen. That is my biggest takeaway, because we really want to be a model of progressive decentralization, and both a model of progressive decentralization and doing it right from a design, an architecture, and a regulatory environment, insisting on staying in the US and not, moving Dirk to Dubai in order to make such a move. And we really do want to serve the entire global market and the U.S. market, including in it as an American company, and seeing how this can really rejuvenate the Web3 industry in general in the United States, in a way that a lot of creators will feel very comfortable to come into a no-code environment and joining a Web3 community in the United States.
Awesome. And Dirk, you?
Well, first of all, what I really enjoy, right, that we have a dialogue. It would be really bad, right, if we put out something like this and there would be 2 reactions to it, right? That would be bad, right? But even though getting also really respect that ThankMeLater has this different opinion, and also because of course, we have a little bit, of course, some kinds of tunnel view. Of course, we're Upland, we're the operators, right? So we get always these new insights and good new ideas, and then it challenges us, right? So to think about, okay, what is the better solution, right? But very often, even we don't come up with it, you guys are coming up with it. And that's what I think is so good and so productive, right? And that's what I love, this community. And that's what I see, because even though we are not every day and we cannot solve every problem everyone has all the time, because there's so many people now, obviously, but we're trying our best all the time. And I think that's the most important foundation to build a really solid ecosystem. Yeah, and that's what we are. So it's the community. But it's also the third-party developers, it's the designers, it's the entrepreneurs, it's it's the partners, it's the brands. Everything really fits nicely together to build this really great economy together. But we don't want to stop there, right? Then he mentioned several times now progressive decentralization. The other thing is, of course, the open metaverse. You know that we are a big proponent of the open metaverse. Doing this initiative right now with Spark has to do also with the open metaverse, right? We want to be more seen outside as such. Yeah, and that's also why we allowed block explorers to be exported now, right? That's also there because that helps also again for visibility. People say, "Oh, what's these funny little icons there, right? Where can I get those, right?" And oh, these are not just pictures; I can use them somewhere, right? Oh, and that's they have this gamified, when they open up a city, this guy roams randomly, the streets, and then people get excited about that. So that's what it makes it so fascinating to create this open metaverse, because at the end of the day, progressive decentralization means we want that the user's in control, that the user, but in a certain sense that it's also protected, right? Because obviously when it's too much decentralization, maybe users are not protected, because in this industry, unfortunately, there's a lot of shenanigans going on, right? That's the reason why we're a little bit more protective of our users and our community, right? But we still want to be open, right? It would be great if you can go one day, for instance, we do this in OMA 3, right? We're developing portaling solutions, right? It's a little bit further away, but, I've seen demos, right? When you're in your world, right? And then it's not there yet. Don't get overexcited yet, but you can see through a portal and you see the other world already, right? And then you walk through and then you're in the other world. I think these kind of things are so awesome about the open metaverse. I think we're still a little bit away from that, technically and also organizationally, but it's going to be super interesting to see how that pans out. And that's my 2 cents to it.
Sounds super. So like next quarter, is that what I'm hearing?
Next quarter?
End of the year?
To
get all of that? Yeah, that's
oh yeah. Well, the typical word, right? The soon word, right?
Yes, soon. Yes.
Soon.
So as always, on exchanges, we have Elite Grizzly wondering if there'll be restrictions on Upland team members from buying Sparklet on open market for personal holdings.
Of course, but those are legal restrictions for insider trading, right? So there was for example, a Coinbase, I think, criminal charge against an employee who knew that that a certain token is going to be listed on Coinbase 48 hours before everyone else did and bought them on different exchanges. That's classic insider trading, which obviously is against the law in the United States and in most countries and will not be allowed.
Awesome. Dirk, Danny, thank you so much. Danny, it was a pleasure. I didn't get to talk to you this Genesis week. It was like all over the place, but I did talk to you 3 weeks into the company last year's Genesis week and my few hours there at that. So it was great to finally have you on the show. Really appreciate it. Dirk, it's always a pleasure. And I always appreciate both of your times. Both of you are very busy and really enjoy it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And keep it up, guys. All right.
All right. Thanks, Dirk. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Always got to love when a co-founder is one of your most dedicated listeners to your show. Just saying.
Absolutely. Just saying.
You just missed it.
It feels like that might be like one of those criteria, like if you were going for like broadcaster of the year or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a judge at that level, but I feel like that might be a good criteria.
Look, we'll get nominated a third year and we'll lose out to the hottest person that's going to come in January, and they'll shoot up a bunch of subscribers, get some people to join Upland, and we'll be nominated and we'll watch a new person win. And
no, it'll be from some region that they need to boost productivity of. So shout out Finland. Congrats on broadcaster of the year.
It's all right. It's always fun. I enjoy doing this with you each and every week. I don't need an award at Genesis Week, but I do enjoy Genesis Week, even though I've only been to one. So,
no, we know who the OGs are.
Yes, we'll be here each and every week.
Yeah.
Happy, it's good to see you back. You've been gone from the show live for a while. Missed you, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you were at both technically.
I was.
Yeah, you went to both.
Yeah. All right. Now, that can't be here tonight, but Mass Chef is here to give us the Upland Racing League update. So, Mass Chef, how we doing, my friend?
Wonderful, wonderful. Good evening, gentlemen. How we doing? Hope everybody can hear me okay.
every NASCAR announcer I've ever seen in my life. It's fantastic.
You got to play the role, brother. That's what it
Holy
is, man.
cow.
You got to play the role.
Even the audio quality of your setup sounds legit like race crew.
Like you're a spotter talking to the driver.
Yeah,
totally intended to be that way. So I'm glad that the motif
awesome.
is going through.
It's perfect. Nailed it. You got the assignment correct, my friend.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Now, what's going on? So, how was this past week in the Upland Racing League?
So we had a huge shake up top of our leaderboard.
For the people that don't know, the first qualifying, you guys run 2 qualifying races, and the first qualifying race had 5 of the 6 top drivers in it this week?
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
And only 3 make it through.
Correct.
So how'd that shake out?
So we had it actually went okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
It went okay.
So we ended up with Metaverse.
You gotta be able to make that bigger.
You gotta zoom in on that there.
Yeah, I gotta make it bigger. Yeah, here, let me zoom in on that a little bit.
There
we go. So we had Metaverser coming in, and he took another win last week. That's his second win of the season. He's been placing in the top minimum top 4 with MMVM. That team is just rock solid. Arshak took a win. So they've actually won 3 of the 4 weeks so far as a team. And I took the other win, of course, in week 1. So those guys are nasty.
Wow.
I mean, they are just nasty. They go out and they do a lot of team racing together and really have at it. So, they're going to be tough to beat. This week's track is very tricky. We're at the Detroit Raceway, downtown Raceway. So, it's a tricky track. There's no clear cut fast lane all the way around. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting race this week. So I'm pretty excited for it.
And 5 points only separate second to 5th place. KO Ninja, he's still doing solid. His bad race number 1 with 3 points is holding him back 11-10-9, still finishing solid.
Yeah, he's
4th place finish.
Yeah, he's been moving right up the leaderboard since week 1. So he's come up with a pretty decent strategy. Like I said, Matt Suter and I have, he's like my racing frenemy now. We have a good time, but we were just racing the other night, as a matter of fact, on one of our partner league channels on ULU GT, and we were doing a race. They occasionally host race for some UPICs, so we ended up in the same race, and I had him all the way around for 3 laps until literally 5 seconds from the finish line, and he managed to catch me and boost around me right at the end to beat me by 2/100ths of a second. So he's quickly becoming my main nemesis. So but it's a lot of fun. We love doing it, and these guys are really putting a lot of effort into it. So
what are the heats shaping up for this week? Is it once again the top 6 going against each other? Or?
So heats this week, we've got my heat number 1 is myself, Matt Suter, KO Ninja, More Cheese, Eddie, and Wolf Warner. So we've got myself, KO. We got 3 of the top 4 up there that are going at it in heat number 1, and then heat number 2, Arshak is in there. TB 125, so third and fourth place drivers in heat number 2. So these guys are going to be pushing it this week.
Nice. And so you're at the halfway point.
Yes, we are. We are at the halfway point in the season. We've got 3 races to go after this. So things are really tight. As you said, we're only separated by 5 points all the way across the top of the leaderboard. So literally anybody can, with a win, and the top guys finishing lower in the boards can take top spot pretty quickly.
Yeah. And then once again, race number 8 is hosted by the Upland Property Xperts Podcast. Excited for that. So everybody keep driving, making it tight. So, we'll have a multi-stream. We'll be able to stream in the cafe on your channel. And then
this will be crazy. It's going to be our last race of the season. I'm very excited for it also because it's just going to be nuts. It's by that time our leaderboard should be packed right together, and we should have quite the entertaining time that evening. So this week we're sponsored by TMS and the Diamond Empire, and shout out to TMS for sponsoring this week. That guy is done some amazing things in LinkedIn and some other places, and he's just really come forth with us as far as the sponsorships goes. This is a second season sponsor along with you guys, so super excited for that and really glad to have our sponsors on board because Upland Racing League wouldn't be happening without you guys. So this is super awesome.
Now we're glad we can support the drivers and make this happen, and we continue to look to support this league because it's one of the originators, and you got some great players in there, and you got some great tracks going on.
Yeah, for sure. And I do got to throw in a quick plug in here because we, as you know, Dak and myself with our real life company, DM Gaming. We've partnered with Kaboom, and we're helping them get their assets into the metaverse, along with Jacqueline and Tosshead helping us with that. So we do currently have a live auction going on right now in the DM Gaming server, which is accessible through URL. So if you're already in URL or any one of our servers, you can access that. And currently, so we are auctioning off the complete first mint set as a set of the Kaboom assets, all their playground assets. So it is a complete set of first mints right now being auctioned off in the DM Gaming server for about another 15 hours or so.
Wait, for USD or UPX?
It is going for UPX. It is an UPX auction.
How much? How much is it currently at?
Currently, it's sitting at 545,000.
How many assets are there?
It's 5 assets, all number 1 mints.
Ooh.
Jump in there, TML. I can see it in your face, brother. I can see it.
Hold on. I've turned off for those of you who know. I've recently been going through a Discord detox of sorts. So I have not. On my Discord, I have. This is actually making me a little dizzy. Opening this up, I don't even know where to go.
The Upland Racing League.
So if you jump in the URL server, it's right on our announcements channel. You can see the auction announcement in there, and then you can jump into the DM Gaming server, and the auction is live there.
Yeah, I need to get on that. Join. All right. Auction chat.
Yeah, if you go into the charity auction room.
Charity auction room. Oh. Wait. Oh, current bid
545,000 UPX is the current bid.
Okay.
And the auction goes until 6:50 tomorrow evening.
Minimum bid. Unauthorized. I need a buyer roll. Go to rolls.
So yeah, if you go up to the rules, go to the rules section and just hit verify and go back.
Charity auction.
Right, so what time does this actually end?
So the auction ends tomorrow, September 29th at 6:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and TML is now the high bidder at 550,000. So
come get it. I'm getting it. I'm getting them.
He loves number ones.
Yes, I know he does. Which is why I was making the announcement here.
Yeah, no.
Everything is benefiting the Kaboom charity, which is it's a charity to help end play inequity and lower income and
yeah, it's an unbelievably great cause.
It's awesome cause, yeah.
Yeah, the URL team, like you and Dak and Shaq and Todd, like everybody involved are just top notch. So I will happily continue to bid on any of these. Thank you for telling me about it.
My pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate the bid.
I'm
And
gonna start bidding against myself here in a minute if y'all don't come on.
So yeah, so everybody, anybody that wants to check out these number one mints, and then we are going to be going live sales just as soon as we can get the inventory up and running. We're currently in high volume production right now for these assets, so they are very limited. Two of the assets, the swings and the dyno, are only 100 mints of each of those. So those are very limited. The other ones, I believe, are 300 minutes of each. So this is a limited run of assets. So we want everybody to get in there and get their hands on them.
Yeah,
absolutely, definitely check it out. Wow, I don't know. I want TML to win though. I know he loves his number ones.
I know he does.
Keith, you shut it down. Keith, you can go buy another set. You leave my number ones alone. Keith Olson, I know where you live.
KO's been in there. He's got a couple of bids in, so don't be surprised if he sneaks in like he always does. He sneaks in from the back of the line racing, so it wouldn't surprise me if he snuck in on this one too. So you got to keep an eye on that, man.
Do you need to set a reminder tomorrow to check right before it goes final?
Probably. When does it end?
It's 6:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow evening.
Oh, I won't be here. Dang it. I was going to. Oh, I'm glad I didn't. I almost set an alarm on my Alexa, but I won't be here. I'm traveling back to Ohio tomorrow, and my alarm just would have been going off all weekend.
Set it on your phone.
Set it on your phone.
6:55 Eastern?
6:50.
So set an alarm for 6:45 p.m. Eastern or 5:45 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
Set alarm for 5:45 p.m. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Oh, can we get a giveaway for the Halloween? Oh, they do look awesome. I gave 2 away last week. I'm building up inventory.
Do it.
I can't give them away every week.
Do it.
Give
one away, you Grinch.
Which one?
I don't give one away. I don't care.
Which one?
Type in #Grinch. #Grinch.
That's the wrong holiday.
I gotta say, I'm with TML on this one. I think you should give one away.
All right, I'll give one away. Which one should I give away though?
#Grinch. You can pick. Just do it.
Yeah,
Grinch.
I would let you pick. You can pick.
We'll go with the pillar.
There you go.
Just
one. I think more like 2. Diseased.
#Grinch. I'll give everybody some time. Oh, look at that.
So I found this new brand of shirt, and they do these really fun skeleton shirts. This one is talking about noodles, and I love a good set of ramen noodles. And it says send noodles.
There you go.
Send noodles. Isn't that fun?
All right. Anybody else with #Grinch?
#Grinch. Get it.
All right. Oh. Hold on. Let me collect. I will collect. Back. Start collecting comments. All righty. Here we go. Let's share the screen. And this is for what number should I give away there? Thank me later.
I don't know. How many you got?
I'm over 20. I'm over 20 right now on the pillars.
Then number 11.
Number 11. Giving away pillar number 11. Who entered us?
Hey, I want the pillar.
Elite Grizzly, go ahead and submit an offer for pillar number 11. I also got to unlock that. So give me about a half hour to unlock that and then submit an offer. Actually, 18. Man, I'm kind of off. I'm adjusting right now. Number 10 is right there. Number 11 is right there. Okay, Elite Grizzly number 11 is open for offers. So go ahead and submit that. Bless you there, Mass Chef.
Thank you.
And let's go ahead and give away number 11 Grave Breaker. So let's go hashtag breaker.
Oh, not only did we talk him into giving one, we talked him into giving two.
Hashtag
oh my God.
breaker.
Breaker, Breaker. You want it? They are pretty awesome. Definitely love what Toshak did with those, and very appreciative of the Upland team. I want it. So after this season concludes, Mass Chef, when does season 3 start for the Upland Racing League?
So we don't officially have a start date on the next season because our next season is going to be karts. Yeah, can't wait, man! It's going to be awesome. So yeah, we're gonna be racing karts. So we will have open qualifiers for at least 4 spots in the URL Kart Racing Series. So that should be happening sometime in mid to late November, and we'll be starting the kart series shortly after that. So we're definitely going to have something fairly quickly as once this season is done.
Nice. Have you thought of running simultaneous cars and karts at the same time, or is that a future thing?
It could potentially be a future thing. The only thing is because we do everything live. It's a matter of schedule because both Dak and I, we both work full-time jobs. We both do, other things as well. So scheduling is sometimes a bit difficult. So right now we don't want to push it to where we're getting in over our heads as far as trying to keep schedule and keep pace with live racing. So I do try to do 1 or 2 recordings a week too for the MRN and Spotlight videos. That's where we highlight tracks or contests or whatever. So those pop up every once in a while, but yeah. So no immediate plans for simultaneous seasons, but we'll see what happens and how it goes.
Okay, still sounds fun. Oh crap.
I'll tell you, I'm really excited for the Stock Car Pro season. That's we'll be doing that in the spring of next year, where we'll be racing the Stock Car Pro Competition Series cars, not the Pro Series, not the trainers, but the Competition Series. So
Wow.
that's going to be fun. Really looking forward to that. So.
All right, let's give away this breaker. Let's go back just in case anybody else entered. 22. All right, here we go. For number 11 Grave Breaker. Hopefully Upland gives me one of the tombstones because this Grave Breaker will look really awesome in front of one of my. Dang, look at that. The Ninja Magic.
KO Ninja. Oh my God. Here we go. We are not going to hear the end of this all day tomorrow.
No,
That's
good.
That
means you can leave my other things alone. There you go. I made that happen. That was my magic voodoo. Now you can leave my stuff alone.
All right, KO, go ahead, make an offer. Number 11 Grave Breaker is unlocked, but yeah, once I get the gravestones out, I got some pretty cool gravestones coming out. Hopefully it makes it this season, and that Grave Breaker will look amazing in front of it, stationed in front of it.
Oh yeah, I saw it, TML. I saw it.
Oh, somebody outbid you and you jump back in there?
Etsy Kicker tried to jump in there, and TML's not having it.
Tried.
Not having it. There you go.
Oh,
thank you so much, Mass Chef.
Too much. Well,
always
thank
a
you guys.
pleasure.
We really appreciate it. Always a pleasure being here.
Look forward to next week's update. And
absolutely.
You're always welcome. It just doesn't have to be Dak.
Yeah, but he's got a much prettier face than I do, so.
Yeah, but you got the voice. You got the voice.
Yeah, dude, you got the look and the voice. Like
That's what's important.
You got the spotter or pit boss look. Either way, you know.
Right, rock on. That's what I like.
All right, man. Chef, thank you so much.
Have a great night.
I'd say good luck, but I'm still pulling for KO Ninja in the races. So.
I know, and I completely understand. I do, but you know, I'm pulling for me getting around Matsuda this week. So we're gonna see if I can pull out a win.
All right, you know what? I think you and KO should team up to try and overtake the 1 and 2 spot. I think you two could be a deadly combo.
That's not a terrible idea.
Just saying, even though he is kind of making me mad that I have to sit here and make sure that I don't get outbid on this.
No, he's actually not bidding right now. You got SC Kicker in there bidding.
Oh,
so
did they switch it up? I don't even know. I just know it's one.
He sent in the partner to do his dirty work. So
I see.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, sneaky ninja.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Sneaky. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
We'll talk next week, Mass.
All right, man.
Have a good one. Whoops. Cut him off. I'm just quick with the boot. Whoop.
Dude, agency, bro. I ain't mad at all. Zero anger, man.
Zero anger. All right. Anyway, you got anything else before we get out of here for the week?
No.
I'm checking the numbers really quick, see if there was anything that just jumped off the screen. Like, I got to talk about. Not really. We'll be okay till next week. And next week's the first of the month, so we'll have the updates of the total sales for the month of September.
Dude, Dizzy's already dancing. So I don't know.
He likes it. Oh, he just wants a theme song. He's like, let's roll, boys. All right, but no. Thanks so much. Thanks so much to Dirk and Danny and Mass Chef for coming through. And I think it's going to be amazing, and it will be interesting to see how the community vote turns out for what you got. I mean, you're
now then, wrap it up. Let's go.
A Bone Thugs night. Nice, Dizzy. Nice agency. Love it. Oh, you see, no, tangent. I got squirreled on that. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmonies in critical care in Los Angeles hospital. He had like bleeding in his artery in his lung, and like it's bad. Like, man, he's in a medically induced coma. So look, it's not my fault. They started it with Bone, and Bone's from Cleveland, and they flipped the rap game. So it's a trying time out here in Cleveland.
Please just play the theme song. Holy cow!
No, Busy's in a. I mean,
Crazy's
in a medically induced coma.
I don't know how to properly end this. Don't make me do it. Don't make me just end the stream.
All right, I'll hit the brand.
The Upland Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host who's stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Xperts, baby, UP.